Hello, my name is Annie Levy Aluzan, and I am a music teacher from Long Island City, New York, USA. Today, I will be talking about the aux send for my Lesson 3 assignment. Now, the auxiliary sends are the most complicated of the mixing board, but once you master how to use them, they can open many creative opportunities for mastering and mixing once you understand how it works. The aux send is an electronic signal routing output that allows you to route a track to two different places at once, and it allows you to send that track to a different location. It also provides a second volume fader to route the same signal to a different place, but with different amounts. This aux track is often referred to as a return track because it can route as well as insert effects at the same time. It serves two functions. The aux track maintains the original signal path through the channel strip, but also sends a copy of that signal to the aux output. The signal from the auxiliary is then sent to an external device, and the processed signal is returned to the mixing board to be blended with the original signal. There are two main uses of the aux send. The first one can be found in a live situation where the engineer has a monitor mix. He has the pre-fader sends that are used during the sound check and the post-fader sends that are used for the front house mix for the audience. So for the pre-fader sends, it allows the musicians to hear exactly what they need during their performance during sound check. And for the post-fader mix, it is what the engineer adjusts when the audience comes into the room and adjusts to the concert hall. However, the pre-fader sends are not at all affected by what the engineer does for the front house mix with the post-fader sends. This is very important, so the musicians will be hearing the levels they decided on, and the levels are independent of the post-fader sends. Another use of the aux send is found in the process of adding audio processing effects such as delay and reverb, and these are always to be post-fader sends. They are post-fader sends because if you are recording a guitar and you bring down the level, it should also bring down the level of the reverb. If it were pre-fader, we would bring down the track fader down and we would hear only the reverb of the guitar. And in this next part of the presentation, I will explain how to set up a single reverb plugin in a DAW and apply it to the entire mix of the song. This is very important to do because for each instrument, you may want more or less reverb depending on how you want the final mix to turn out. Now, to configure the single reverb plug, you must first go to the I/O labels and assign a bus for the send. Then you will name it Reverb Bus. Next, you will create a new aux track, and the input will be the bus that you had just created. Then each of the other tracks will have a send going to the reverb bus. You must put them in manually. Then you will choose which kind of reverb you'd like from the reverb settings. It is important for the reverb to have the setting 100% wet and 0% dry for the aux track. So the aux track is entirely reverb and it will not affect the dry mix at all. It also avoids phase cancellation or the doubling up of dry sounds. The benefits of using this single plugin configuration is that it allows you to manipulate the reverb for each track via a single plugin. This in turn reduces CPU usage from having multiple reverb sends and makes it easier to change the setting on the entire track. By doing this presentation, I better understand how the buses work and the auxiliary tracks works in my DAW. I hope that you have found this video helpful and informing. See you next week.